establish your brand if you haven't already. So something that we do with a lot of office managers and exercise is write down 3 words to describe your practice. And then really be honest with yourself and say, am I displaying that to our patients, either through our social media or our website?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental Office Managers Community Podcast, where we talk about the issues that matter most and help us to become better leaders in our dental practice. I'm your host, Kyle Summerford. Let's dive right in. Hey guys, it's Kyle. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Office Managers Community Podcast. And today we are here with Cassidy from Gargle. Cassidy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So, Cassidy, I want to bring you on here just so we can kind of like get an update on Gargle. I know some of the members in our group may not have heard of Gargle. And so I wanted to kind of reintroduce you guys to the community and to show like how you guys really are helping dental practices out there.
Absolutely. So Gargle we call ourselves the last dental marketing partner you'll ever need. We're a full service marketing partner for you guys. So we do websites and SEO, we do social media, content and posting, we do social ads, Google ads, review management, mailers, pretty much anything that you would need under the marketing umbrella. And we help dentists get lots of new patients and target the patients that you're wanting to see in your office. So, yeah.
Cool. So how long have you guys been around for?
Yeah, so Gargle's been around about 5 years. We've been doing postcards for about 10 years. So we were originally just doing postcards and then broke off and kind of started doing some more digital marketing to support the postcards because we were noticing a lot of people would be doing postcards, but they wouldn't have a great website to send people to when they, decided to book an appointment. So digital marketing, we've been around 5 years. Postcards, we've been around for about 10 years.
Wow. Okay. And you guys are still doing postcard marketing?
Yes, we are.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah, you think postcard marketing was the thing of the past, but I still send things by mail. Like,
Absolutely.
I feel like sometimes you just have to get through to people that way.
Absolutely. And it really depends on the demographics of your patient base. But we found that for the younger patient base, if you layer on postcards with social media ads or Google ads targeting the same households, it produces a great ROI for practices. And then practices with maybe an older patient base, they're checking their mail all the time. And so postcards are a great way to target that demographic as well.
Cool. Yeah. So in terms of like, for example, I've seen questions get asked in the group from time to time. And one of the big questions really is like social media management, right? So like, I've been asked in the past, the dentist has come to me as an office manager and he's like, hey, look, can you manage our Facebook page? Can you help get us like patients? And honestly, I had no idea where to start.
Absolutely.
Besides just making the page, right? And then so like what do you do from there? How do you guys offer that type of service?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we help practices manage their social media profiles. We help them create the posts and then time out the posts depending on what's the optimal time to post them. And we do it on a handful of different platforms like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and other platforms like that. But yeah, social media is super important. A lot of people think that social media is a way that they're going to get lots of new patients, which yes, so patients can come in through social media, but social media really is a place for you to showcase your brand and your team and the personality of your practice. So some things that we make sure that our clients have on their social media profile is clear branding colors. So they have their logo, their colors on there. It's consistent. It's aesthetically pleasing. When people go onto the page, it makes their eyes happy. So that's something that we look for in a dentist social media profile. Another thing that we also emphasize with a lot of our clients on their social media pages is showcasing your team members. So the dentist, the hygienist, the front desk people, showcasing fun things that you're doing in your office. Maybe you did a birthday party or a celebration, or you had a really amazing case or patient that you did or worked on, or did some sort of great case work on there. So we want to make sure you're showcasing that, because when current patients and new patients are looking either at their dental practices social media, or a new patient is looking for a new dental practice, social media is a huge kind of credibility builder, and helps them connect with the personality of your practice. So it's a huge, huge aspect of marketing for dentists.
Yeah, social media. I agree with you. I mean, right, we're on social media right now, so
Yes.
and we're connecting with people, right? So like, why wouldn't a dental practice kind of say, hey, look, maybe we should have a social media presence? What type of like setup do you guys help with specifically? Like, do you guys make the page? Do you make the artwork? How does it work?
Yeah, so we have a social media expert dedicated to each one of our clients, and they can help you with the account creation and helping you with all the logistics of, creating the account and getting all the things, the profile picture and the username and all those different things. And then we have experts who will create posts for you. I think it's about 2 or 3 posts per week, per client on, I think it's 2 platforms. So we have people creating those posts for you. We'll schedule it out for you. And then we go through an approval process within our team and then with you as well, to make sure that everything works smoothly and that it looks good to both us and to you.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with the, in terms of like having a social media presence, right? It's probably one of the most important aspects. I feel like I've had patients that actually will search the doctor's name, and then, they'll go on to Facebook and they'll like contact the office. And I'm like, oh, well, I saw your reviews on Facebook. And I'm like, reviews on Facebook? But, I mean, that was years ago, where I feel like it wasn't very common, right? But like,
Yeah.
still you're getting reviews on Facebook and people are reading those, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see how, having a social media presence definitely is something that any dental practice should consider, if or even like making it better, right?
Right.
Because
Absolutely. And I know for office managers, time is money. And the more time you can be spent, focusing on patients directly, I think that is helpful for everyone. So Gargle is really the way where you can still kind of keep your eye on the social media management, and we'll loop you in, but we'll do all of the, designing and the planning and all those things that you guys really don't have time for as an office manager. But you can still, kind of co-own it with us.
cool. Cool. And one of the other questions I've seen in the group is like, fee for service practice, right? And
Yeah.
so, how can Gargle help practices that are fee for service, because they're not really advertising, right? They're not really like listed in the insurance directories. So like, how are you guys able to help those practices?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a super common question that we've been getting a lot lately. We actually just recently finished a case study for one of our clients who recently went fee for service. But basically, when you go fee for service, you drop your insurance companies, and then your patient base drops immediately because you're not servicing those insurances. And that can be really scary as an office manager. And, you're accountable for collection numbers and production numbers, and that can be really scary. So something that we do is we have a strategist dedicated to each one of our accounts, and they can work directly with you. But a general strategy that we've done is running Google ads and social media ads for same day emergency appointments. So say now you've dropped insurance companies, you have a ton of gaps in your schedule, run those same day emergency appointments, and then you can use other marketing tactics to create patient loyalty with those people that are coming in for those same day appointments. And that can be done through review management, through your website, again, through your social media, having them follow you on social media to get them to come back for a returning appointment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's you really struck a chord, right? So you said like we're responsible as office managers for production and collections. And so, one of the the things that I feel as an office manager, I'm sure others feel like that as well, is like our time is so important to be focusing on what we're good at, right? And
Hmm.
so, I know personally, like I'm not good at certain things, and so I rather hand this over to an expert. So,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. And I've been on the phone with office managers who are asking me, how do I set up this ad and how do I do this and this? And it takes so much time just to learn all these things that maybe weren't in your job description when you first started. And that's really where we can help you save time and be able to focus on other things that are more important.
yeah. Now, what about the small town dental office, right? Like the small town, dental practice that, is not in a high traffic area, right? They're not like getting a lot of visibility out there. Like, how does Gargle help those small town dental practices?
Yes, I get this comment all the time when I'm talking to dentists and office managers of we're the only practice within 100 miles, or we're the only specialty practice, or, whatever it may be. And even practices like that need some sort of marketing. Maybe you're full to the brim, can't accept any more patients. That's great. But one thing that dentists all need is a website and some sort of Google review platform or presence on your Google reviews. So number one, your website. Is your website functional? You would be surprised at how many dental websites I've seen where they don't even have a phone number to call. They have no place to book online. They don't have a picture of the doctor or even a description of who they are and what they do. And those things are essential just for your current patient base to see. And a lot of doctors will be like, well, I'm doing just fine with my website. I don't even need a website. And you really do to be able to save time both for your front desk and for your office manager. If you don't have a functioning website, it creates a lot more issues for them because then patients don't know where to go to ask questions or schedule appointments. And it just, creates a headache for you guys. And then patients become a little more disgruntled when things are hard to find. So having a functional website that looks good, shows who you are, shows what you offer, what kind of treatment you offer, and then basic contact info, your phone number, your address, and email that they can use. And then the
Yeah.
second thing is Google reviews. So a lot of doctors will and office managers will ask me or tell me like, oh, we're just word of mouth based. We have, again, we're in a small town and we just get referrals word of mouth, which is great. That's the best type of marketing you can have is if you have great treatment and great patient care, then they want to share that with other people. That's great. But when people do use word of mouth marketing, the only place that's captured is in that conversation between those two people. And so Google reviews are a great way to capture those referral type word of mouth marketing conversations that people are having. So let's say you go to the dentist, you have a great experience and you want to go tell your friends about it. Well, why don't you just capture it online where it will stay forever? And in the form of a Google review, and then people who you don't even know will see that review and then be interested in the practice. So I think those are two things. Even if you don't want to grow your patient base by one single patient, you should really have a good presence both on your website and on your Google reviews.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, Google reviews, right? Everything is like Google reviews, like everything. I mean, even when I buy products, like I go and I look at the Google reviews. It's like
Exactly.
it's so like strong, right? Everything is like controlled by like
Mhm.
Google nowadays. So it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard of practices where, they're like, hey, we don't do any marketing, right? We don't need marketing, right? But then, and they are busy, right? So they are having tons of patients come in and
Right.
but then I've also heard of practices that are, out there in small rural towns and, maybe they're not as busy.
Mhm.
And maybe they want to get busier. So,
Yeah.
I see how you guys are helping those practices out overall. Now, how do you guys like help to develop like say the brand of the practice or identity of the practice?
Yes, absolutely. We have like a branding package That's just like a one-time fee. It's not like an ongoing fee, but basically we can help you build a logo, build like some general fonts for you to use and in different marketing materials that you have, and then like a color palette. And then we can walk you through where to use each one of these logos, and we'll give you kind of a pack of logos that you can use in different scenarios. But yes, we do have a branding package. Our team is awesome. They do an amazing job at helping you decide, on a name, and then how it should look, well, it represents you, and then integrating that into your website and all of the different things that you're using to market.
Okay. Yeah, that's brand is important, right? I feel like you have to stand out, especially like in these saturated areas. Like, I'm in New York City, so
Yeah.
like, we have like thousands and thousands of dentists like within just a few
Yes.
blocks radius. I mean, there's even buildings like there's one building specifically in New York City where every single floor has about 10 dental offices.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy the competition.
Yeah.
Uh, in a saturated market like that, it's so hard to stand out. So, you need like a brand, you need some type of identity, you know?
Absolutely. And something that Gargle is really good at is, like I said before, we have a strategic director that is basically an extension of your marketing team. We're here, this person is there to really be your advocate for all the things that you want to do. And they also have decades and decades of experience in the dental field of, like Chelsea, for example, she's in the group. She was like an assistant, an office manager, a hygienist. And now she's working in marketing. She has other experience in marketing, but she understands what it's like to work in a dental practice. And so she's really your advocate of getting to know you, what your brand is, who your team, like who you are within your team, and then displaying that through all of your marketing actions.
Hmm, that's cool. Yeah, that's having a team that knows dental, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll share a story with you. So many years ago, I had worked in a dental practice, and I was given the fun task, the fun job of finding a website company to use for the dental practice. And so, it was tough. It was tough finding someone that actually had dental experience
Right.
that actually like could say, okay, we know your troubles. We
Mhm.
know what you're going through. Like, we can help you navigate those troubles because we're dental specific, right?
Yes.
And so I'm going to assume with a name like Gargle that you guys are dental specific.
Yes, yeah, we're dental specific, only dental. We serve all specialties within dental, so ortho, endo, perio, etc. But yeah, we're dental specific. We don't do medical, we don't do optometry, we don't do vets. We're just dental specific. So
Cool. Okay. All right. And then, in terms of like, getting found on, the internet, right? So you guys like lay this out for our viewers. You guys will build a brand, and
Mhm.
then where do you go from there?
Yes, so we have what we call like offensive marketing and defensive marketing. So once you have your brand, you need to work on establishing your defensive marketing. So places where patients will come to you, where they find you, and that's your website, social media, and Google reviews. And those things all need to be supportive of your brand and kind of aligned with each other. And then you can run your offensive marketing tactics. So Google ads, social media ads, postcards, any sort of advertising where you're targeting the patient through certain advertising actions. And then they'll be drawn back to your foundational marketing um, aspects. So your social media, Google reviews, website. And that's where the conversion will happen is on your foundational marketing. So that's kind
Gotcha.
of how we see it, depending on what the client or the dentist's goals are. We tweak it a little bit, but that's generally kind of the model that we use.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, cool. So in terms of like, one productivity tip for dental office managers, based on your knowledge and, Gargle, right?
Mhm.
What's one thing that dental office managers could implement into their practice today, starting today?
Yes, absolutely. My first tip is establish your brand if you haven't already. So, something that we do with a lot of office managers and exercise is write down 3 words to describe your practice, and then really be honest with yourself and say, am I displaying that to our patients, either through our social media or our website? Is that representative of those 3 words that I wrote down? Maybe it's friendly, efficient, and I don't know, another successful. Is that something that we are displaying to our patients through our different marketing channels? My second tip is, what can you outsource? What are things that you can give someone else to do so that you can save time and focus on things that maybe you're better at or that are more important? And I think marketing is definitely one of those things that you can outsource, and ultimately save time and money for the practice and help you grow as a practice. And you can still be the hero of getting new patients, but maybe someone else is doing, you know, the nitty-gritty of
Hmm?
building the ads or the social media
Yep.
posts. I think that kind of helps everyone involved because we know what we're doing as marketing experts, and you know what you're doing as an office manager, and so we can work together and help you be successful. So those are
Cool.
probably my 2 tips for office managers.
Yeah, those are great tips. I mean, I as soon as you said it, I was kind of like, okay, perfect. Write down 3 words, right? Really help establish your identity of the practice.
Mhm.
I resonate with that because I have done that in the past. And, the second was productivity, really kind of like, what can you offload, right? What can you give to someone else who can really help and kind of like save us time and stress, right? Because
Yeah,
that's what we hope for as office managers, is
exactly.
save time and stress, and really kind of like automate things, right? That's like what we want to do. We want to get the practice automated so like we don't have to worry about those things. uh,
Exactly.
yeah, cool, awesome. Well, thanks for those tips, really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So, we're going to wrap up here, Cassidy, but we do have one surprise question for you.
Okay.
And this is not really related to Gargle, but it's something that I like to do on the podcast, just to bring out the human side in all of us.
Absolutely.
I want you, the previous guest who came on answered a question. Okay. And then that person left a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And so lucky you are going to answer the question that our last guest left behind.
Okay.
And are you ready for the question?
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the question is, what was the most expensive mistake you ever made?
That is a great question. Oh boy.
I know I surprised you with it.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I wonder, I'm usually pretty good with money and saving money. I try to be thoughtful about it. Maybe, well, one time I got a car wash right before I got in a car accident, so maybe that's
Oh my gosh,
my
really?
most
Hey,
expensive mistake. I mean, it was only like $10, but yeah,
well, it
didn't need
sounds
the
like,
car wash.
yeah, you didn't need the car wash for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like an expensive.
Yeah.
No, right? That's kind of weird. Was the mistake the car wash because of the timing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess you could say it was like an expensive mistake, right? Because the damage was probably expensive on the
Yep.
car.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that answers
That's
the
the first one
question.
that came
So,
to my mind. I'm sure there's,
yeah.
I'll think of like 10 more after this
That's
call.
okay. That's all right. That was perfect. That was perfect. All right. Thanks for participating. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So guys, again, this is Cassidy from Gargle, and as you are aware, most of you may be aware that Gargle is a sponsor of our community, and so we definitely want you to check them out, do a demo, take a little time out. Try to get some of these tasks that you may be dealing with in your practice that you could be taking your attention and focusing it elsewhere that's maybe more productive. We don't have to be experts at everything, right? So, check out Gargle. I'll share the link in the comment section of our video. Cassidy, thanks for taking the time out today, and I appreciate all the information you gave us.
Thanks so much, Kyle.
All right, we'll talk soon. Take care.